Alright, hello. We're starting early here on this evening, technically evening of Tuesday. Not even Tuesday night like we normally would for Higurashi. It turns out, scheduling wise, I have a few things I need to do for most of my night tonight. So I am literally right off the clock of work. And then I roll over to my Higurashi PC. And I'm here to read you straight after looking at some work stuff. So not even barely decompressed from work. So who knows? What energy that brings into the stream. Hope you've had a great Tuesday, or any day you're watching this on VODed, Twitch, on VOD on YouTube, whatever you choose to do with your silly self. Hope you're having a great day or week or whatever. Despite all the world's pressures that it places upon you, I hope you're having a decent day despite all that. I'm here to read, as I said, some Higurashi. We won't be able to go super long here, so I mean, if we get through a section, that's good. If we have to call it early because of my timing, that's fine as well. I had been previously tipped off that we're nearing some kind of end to the chapter, which timing-wise makes sense as far as just how many streams it's been of Chapter 7 here. But also, if you're wondering how I may also potentially know, is that I can see and I've noticed the pattern of the Steam achievements, basically. I don't try to read the descriptions if they're available or anything, but basically just numbers-wise. After the first couple of chapters, I realized how often they pop, obviously, the achievements in Steam for the game when you finish chapters, and then there's, like, however many you have left. And then, obviously, like, an achievement for all the tips. Excuse me. And, obviously, all the chapter, or all the sections you finish within a chapter. So, I can kind of gauge based on that. So, just in case you... if you didn't consider that, or want to see just a little peek behind the curtain. So yeah, hope you've I shouldn't say hope you've had a great day again. Apparently when I'm when my brain is completely depleted and I haven't had a chance to just recharge for a couple hours before switching to Higurashi, I just default to just saying, hope you had a great day, hope you had a great day. I'm like a broken something. I was gonna say record, but saying you're a broken record is it's a phrase that's so used so often now. I feel I was trying to get to something else, but couldn't think of anything. So yeah, we're gonna read very quick recap. Basically, all we need to know is, I think from the last stream, was 1, Satoko got hit pretty hard by the uncle. 2, the uncle seems like he's being displaced. We've succeeded thanks to Kechi's efforts. He's basically being credited with rallying the correct troops and also not giving up and doing this for his friends. And 3, maybe the biggest development, and the thing that has vindicated me the most for hating on her so much, is blonde-haired lady, aka Takano, being some part of some big thing. I think at the last stream, I don't know how official this is actually to what it is, but I deemed some part of some biological terrorist group. And yeah, we saw the moment where she turns on Tomotake, so we officially get to see that. That was actually cool to see, as far as being able to actually see behind, the exact steps that ended up happening for her to turn on him. Especially quite interesting as far as in this chapter. I don't know if maybe it was hinted at previously, but we've solidly confirmed exactly what Tomotage does and who he is as like a person, with his role in the whole. He's not just dude who wears tank top, takes pictures of people randomly, and sheepishly gets coerced into going into the storage shed. He does a bit more. So, not much more, but a bit more. As far as involvement goes in the overarching plot and story. And I think that's basically where we're at. We gotta go! When we finish tonight, we're gonna be officially crossing over into page 2. Look at that. So yeah, I don't know. I don't want to give like a hard out time. Like I said, I can't be on super long. Especially because considering I haven't had like a chance to eat yet today. So I gotta, like I said, on top of the other things I gotta do today or tonight, I gotta like make food for myself and eat. 2 very important things in my life, So we gotta. We'll play it by ear. If I can help it, if I can pick like a decent point to stop tonight, that's always preferred. But if we have to make an awkward cut, then we'll make an awkward cut. It's funny because like we go back to I don't brought this up during the Higurashi playthrough here this past year, but like Higurashi's been a lot easier to get those clean cuts for chapters and stuff. There were so many more like story-wise like awkward timing cuts in between streams of like Umineko. It's very funny. And in this one, and in with Higurashi, I've been much more able to like trust that the game is gonna break around when I need it to, or just trust myself. I was gonna say my body, but trust myself to be able to just run into the next deal, breaking point, break point, pause point, break in the story, scene transition, whatever you want to call it. I don't know why you guys put up with me. I don't know why you listen. I'm like, I sound brain dead most of the time. I feel like I just, oh my god, I don't know. Maybe that's the charming part of me. That maybe the viewers of this, maybe that's why you guys stick around. I might be an idiot. I might be brain dead. I might only sometimes have like 2.5 brain cells to rub together to just barely coherently read some Higurashi to you guys. And for that, I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Wait, why am I getting notices? What is this? What is this? Interesting. Okay. I was getting Discord messages, and I want to make sure what I was seeing was accurate. All right, here I go. When I woke up, the first things I saw were Satoko in the calendar. First one to wake up is supposed to tear yesterday's date off the calendar. Sometimes we both tear the calendar by mistake, so the date ends up 2 days ahead. Oh, that would hurt my. That would annoy me. If I'd be like, ah, fuck. Knowing it, then there'd be a small spot in my brain, the back of my brain, being occupied by the thought for a full day, a full 24 hours, that my calendar is listed incorrectly because I made a mistake. Satoko likes to tear the calendar, and that makes her wake up early every morning. That would usually make me smile, but I felt devastated as soon as I saw the 22 on the calendar. It's going to happen today. June 22nd, the day I die. Oh boy. Good morning. Good morning, Rika. Morning, you two.
二人
You too?
あらあら、まだ寝ぼけてるでございますの
Are you still asleep?
みー、
Me.
さとこの他にもこの部屋に住んでいる人がいますのですよ。
Oh, she's just gonna come out and talk about Hanyu? Me, there's someone else living in this house other than you and I. Oh, I hit the wrong button.
その人にもおはようを言いましたのです。
I just said good morning to that person as well.
もう
Hey,
朝から怖がらせるのはなしでございますわよ。
do not try and spook me like that.
これでさとこは今晩怖くて僕の手を握ってないと寝られないのです。
Satoko won't be able to sleep without holding my hand tonight. Sometimes I feel like Satoko can see Hanyu, and it's as if the three of us are living together. That would be a lot of fun. It was time to go to school, but my body felt heavy. Today, I was going to die. Knowing that, I didn't even feel like going to school. The more I've repeated the same life, the more precisely I can detect my day of death. I always die on the day I feel this way.
リカ、
Rika,
そろそろ学校に行きますわよ。
we ought to get going soon. This is totally only barely related, but like the more I've repeated the same life, the more precise I can detect my day of death. That's so grim to like think about. And then it makes you think about those those what ifs that sometimes you get posed. It's like, you know, like if the question for you, viewing audience, chat, whatever you want to call yourself. You don't even have to give me the answer necessarily. If you want to, you can. But I hate soliciting like, oh, type in the comments, wherever. Just think about it. You know that one that's always like, if you had the choice of knowing the day you die or the way you die, which one would you? Assuming you can't change either. Knowing the information, you still can't affect it. Like if you were told you're gonna die in a car accident or something, you can't then just avoid cars for the rest of your life, assuming that's not going to get you, because you can't. Or like if it's like you're gonna die June 22nd, you can't just stay in bed all day and assume like you're avoiding trouble. That's not how this hypothetical works. But like the hypothetical is, oh, would you want to know the way you die or the day you die? And it's like that's like one of those stereotypical hypotheticals that I feel like I go back and forth on. Knowing the day of your expiration is tough. I feel like that's probably more likely going to affect how you live your day-to-day life then. And change your life at that point, because then you're always on a timer, right? Knowing how you're gonna die is scary though, because you never know when it is. So if you are told it's a car accident, you're all like, that seems dreadful. I would probably be more at peace knowing the day I die. You know what I mean? That's probably what more often than not I probably land on. Just because you're probably more at peace. There's a bigger unknown. And as much as I would want to say like I'm not afraid of death. I'm not afraid of my own death or anything, which I truly think I'm not. I'm afraid of other people's death. But like, if I knew the day I was going to die, as much as I would say like it wouldn't change how I live day to day or whatever, at least I would know like, oh, as I get closer and closer to that day, I'd be able to like do whatever I need to do for my final moments, right? If you were told like, oh, you're going to die in, like I said, a car accident, every time, you don't know when it is going to happen. Every time you get into a car or whatever, you'd be fucking terrified. Now, there's the off chance that you're told something very strange about your day, the way you die, right? Sorry if this is morbid. I don't mean to. This is what you get when I come off of work and I don't get decompress time. But if you were told like, if you're like, you choose the option, you're like, you know what? How do I die? And you were told something super bizarre, then it's like interesting, because then you're like, you couldn't worry or plan about it at all. And then you would also just be like, I don't know what would be such a bizarre thing. I mean, I also wouldn't want to be told that I'm gonna like choke on a banana or something, or choke on food. Car accident would be bad to be told. If you're told you're gonna drown, that's scary. Most things are gonna be scary if you're told how you're gonna die, and you're just nebulously thinking about when it's gonna happen. I don't know. Sorry, like I said, don't mean to get morbid. Blame Rika, all right? Satsuka says, Rika, we ought to get going soon.
僕は今日はお休みしますです。
I'm taking the day off today.
リコ、
Rika?
圭一さんに聞きましたけど、何か悩み事があるって本当なんですの？
I heard from Kechi-san. Are you troubled by something?
あると言えばあるし、
Kind
ない
of.
と言えばないです。
Kind of, but not really. What else is there left to do? Today is the day. It's too late now. Now, there's something about last stream that now I think I touched upon. I'm trying to remember exactly what I said last stream. An impossible task. But the interesting thing here, and as we potentially round into the finale here of this chapter, Rika saying she still feels as if she's going to die, right? That enough has not been done. Especially because, I would assume, because of the whole Takano and Tomatake thing, right? In her eyes. We got a little bit of a glimpse of Takano because I definitely know I mentioned this slightly. Rika, in her want to save Takano and Tomatake, gave away her hand to Takano and said how they're gonna die. And Takano's like, that's fucking strange. And now we know Takano does evil things, and Rika's now on her radar. So is it just this case where it's a self-fulfilling, like, prophecy almost, where Rika has doomed herself by tipping off Takano, unintentionally, of course. Unbeknownst to Rika, she essentially gave the ammunition to Takano to hunt after Rika. Because if Rika knows something, whether Takano thinks it's just a weird coincidence, or it is some supernatural thing that ended up happening with Rika here about how was she able to call that was going to happen, exactly how Takano was planning on executing things. It's just like, I don't know what point I was trying to make, but like, damn, it does make you feel bad. But also, it's like, yeah, like, what? And then it leads you into chapter 8, and you go like, okay, so what is chapter 8 going to be? Let's say this ends in failure, because, let's say specifically, Rika spoke to Takano, gave away too much information, Takano takes a hit out. Oh, also, I guess the point I was going to make is it then 100% confirmed here that, you know, it is Takano or the extensions of Takano that takes out Rika? I mean, you would assume that is what's happening. And if that's the case here, then it's not like necessarily other attempts what would have caused Takano to want to murder Rika, unless it is every time Rika somehow, or in every other instance, Takano was tipped off that Rika knew something that she shouldn't. There's still so many questions, I feel. Today's the day, it's too late now. But part of me still feels like doing something. I've been in this world only a few days. My emotions went up and down like a roller coaster. Sometimes I felt motivated to fight, and other times I felt desperate and gave up. Even though Kechi and everyone else showed me such strength, I lacked the iron will to fight against my fate. The most confidence I ever felt was when the dice all came up 6. A fortunate coincidence that was just handed to me. I was hoping to gain the courage to fight against my fate, but here I am today, conceding to destiny. Kechi told me that we can make a miracle happen if we work together, but there was something he didn't teach me. He didn't teach me how to believe in that. If I don't believe that I can make a miracle happen, I won't be able to make even a crack in the wall of fate. It seems so simple, yet it's so difficult. I couldn't even decide whether I should be on the stage or stay off it and remain as a spectator. I told Hanyu that I haven't decided what to do after this world is over, but that's a spectator's point of view. For the people on the stage, this world is the only one. For them, the end of the world means the end of their lives. That's why they do anything to change their fate. That's why they can make a miracle happen. I never worked hard enough because I always knew that I could reset my life. I thought I was just one pathetic girl who couldn't change her own fate. That's why I ended up here again today. It's as if I slacked off on my summer homework and woke up on the last day of vacation with nothing completed. What should I do? Should I not work on my assignment knowing that I'm not going to make it on time anyway? Or should I do whatever I can even though I may still get in big trouble? No, you want to ask young me talking about assignments? If it's already past the point of done and I couldn't like bullshit enough to make it look like I did some stuff, I'd probably just not do it. I was I got maybe unsurprising to reveal this, but I was such a underachiever, like an intentional underachiever in high school and school in general. Probably not the best thing to have let happen or anything, but like, of course, as everyone, I'm pretty sure everyone, especially around my age and stuff, had the whole gifted student thing. So I'm not even necessarily doing that whole shtick, but like, I was very much like, what's the least amount of effort I can give and still like make it through the school system? And also, like, even as a kid, I was a firm believer in the whole, like, especially in the school system, especially when it comes to, like, teachers and stuff, like, barely achieve what you need to do, and then when you overachieve past the point that you've already established to the people who are monitoring you, when you then overachieve in their eyes, then it's only a benefit to you, right? If you set it sounds bad, but this isn't now my actual life, I would say, but like very much when I was a teenager, there was a time pretty early on when maybe I wouldn't have worded it exactly like this, but I realized I was like, damn, I think I'd much rather like, what a bad thing to admit. Probably if you admitted this as like a kid to your parents at some point, they'd be like very disappointed in you. But I was very much of the mindset of like, hey, do what you need to do to pass, do what you need to do to clear the very low bar of like the school system here in the States, which generally sucks. And in every state I've lived, both Texas and Florida, very notoriously low bars to pass over as far as what they expect of you, as long as you're in my opinion, do what you need to do to pass, whatever. And then, like I said, if you clear the bar even a little more, then it just looks better for you, because you're like, oh, they expect you to only just barely pass things, and then you just succeed a bit more, and they're like, oh wow, awesome. That makes it sound like I was really dumb. That wasn't the case, or I acted like I was dumb. That's not the case either. As a kid, I realized for what I was doing, I was much more satisfied in life as a kid to just do what was needed, not overachieve. But I was a good kid, necessarily, pretty much. I was as good as I needed to be. Same like personality wise, like as far as when it comes to like teachers and stuff, I was also the same thing. Like I was a very quiet kid, but that was intentional in my head, because if you were quiet, if you were one of the quiet students, like viewed as quiet, you were allowed to get away with much more than like the kids that would, be intentionally loud or obnoxious or whatever. You could get away with a lot more if you were deemed or looked at as the quiet kid or the, obedient kid or whatever. So, I mean, if I were to give myself one ounce of credit as a kid, I was my brain was looking at going through school as a teenager in that sense, which I think is like, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back too much, but it was very much like, it's an interesting way of like how many kids are actually looking at what they're having to go through as like something like that, where it's like almost like a game to play. Like, what's the limits I can test here? Just how much do I have to do to just barely get over, not be deemed a problem child, not be deemed dumb in your parents' eyes or whatever. All these different things. Man, I know I started the stream being like, I really need to just fucking read and I can't be on long. And then we've advanced maybe like 3 sentences and I've just been talking about whatever. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I failed you. Let's get back. Rika. Or should I do whatever I can even though I may still get in big trouble? Perhaps a miracle will happen. Perhaps the homework will be done overnight. Miracles don't happen in homework. I have to do the homework on my own. Without effort, nothing will ever get done. Without effort, not even one question will be solved.
リカの好きなように過ごすといいと思いますのです。
Rika, I think you should spend your day doing what you want to do.
リカの大好きな窓際で甘いワインを飲むのもリカらしい過ごし方だと思いますのです。
You can drink by the window all day, just the way you like doing.
どうせ怒られるなら最後の一日も気ままに過ごそうという開き直りね。
You're suggesting that I shouldn't do anything since I know I'll get in trouble anyway? For Hanyu, it's not about the homework. It's more about the vacation itself. The vacation will be over, no matter how much I want it to continue. In her eyes, it's pathetic for me to make a big deal out of not completing my homework, and contemplating whether I should still work on it or not. On top of that, I'm saying that I might as well die if my vacation is going to be over. If I was in her situation, I'd be laughing hysterically. Kechi told me to seek everyone's help in order to finish my homework, but I'm not taking that offer, not only because I don't want to cause them trouble, but also because I don't want the teacher to know that I got help from them. If I was going to have regrets, I should have worked on it from the beginning. If I had no intention of working on it, I should have just relaxed without stressing so much. If I didn't care about what other people thought, I should have asked for their help in the first place. Those are the 3 options I talked about with Hanyu yesterday. I didn't choose any of them. I've been living for over 100 years, but I still can't decide. My 100 years were wasted. Satoko.
僕は今日風邪をひいてしまったのでお休みしますです。
I'm not going to school today because I have a cold.
そうなんですの？
Is that so?
体温計でお熱を測ります？
Do you want me to take your temperature?
今日はゆっくりさせてくださいです。
I need a rest today.
知恵には僕は風邪で休むと伝えてほしいのですよ。
Could you tell Chie that I'm not coming because I'm sick?
リカ、
Rika,
本当に風邪なんですの？
are you really sick?
なんだか命を狙われてるような話をしているって圭一さんが言ってて、私本当に心配してますのよ。
Kichi-san told me that you're worried someone is trying to kill you. I'm very concerned, you realize?
ありがとうです。
Thank you.
もう行かないと遅刻しますですよ。
You should go now. You'll be late. Satoko looked at the clock, then looked back at me again.
私は今すごく幸せですのよ。
I'm very happy right now.
みんなと楽しく過ごせて、またリカと一緒に暮らせるようになってとても嬉しいんですの。
I'm happy that I'm back with everyone, and that I'm living with you again.
だからリカがいなくなったら私がどれだけ悲しい世界に生き続けなくちゃならないかよく考えてほしいでございますのよ。
So, if I lose you, I'll be living in a very sad world. Just think about that.
僕のいない世界。
The world without me.
ええ。
Yes.
リカのいない世界なんてとても辛くて悲しい世界ですわ。
The world without you would be a very sad world. I've never thought about that. I thought that the world ended when I died. I've never thought about the world after my death. That was never my concern.
だからどうか自分をリカが思ってる以上に大事にしてほしいんですの。
So please take care of yourself.
リカ一人の不幸じゃない。
It isn't just me.
リカに悲しいことがあれば私もそしてみんなも不幸になることを決して忘れないでくださいますですのよ。
If anything happens to you, everyone will be sad.
サトコ。
Satoko.
リカ、
Rika?
今日はそっとしておきますけど、悩みがあるなら絶対に相談するんですのよ。
I'll leave you alone for today, but please talk to me if you have something on your mind.
仲間が悩んでいるのに自分を頼ってくれないこともまた悲しいんですから。
It's kind of upsetting how you won't talk to me. Satoko seemed like she wanted to say more, but she looked at the floor instead. More floor. Floorboard. I know what she's trying to say. I realize how selfishly I've been living. It was wrong for me to look at this world as a stage play. But it's too late. It's too late now. Satoko left the house in a hurry. Hanyu and I were left alone inside the house.
僕もお邪魔でしょうから、リカが呼ぶまで消えていますのです。
I can tell you want to be alone. I'll disappear until you call for me.
気が利くのね。
Thank you.
100年生きてもリカはリカです。
You're still yourself, even after 100 years.
100歳の仙人にはなれないのです。
You're not a 100-year-old transcendent.
リカには年相応に悩んで考える時間があってもいいと思います。
You deserve to think about your life as a young girl.
僕がリカに背伸びを敷いたこともあるかもしれませんのです。
I don't want to force you to think like a grown-up.
羽生は悪くないわ。
It's not your fault, Hanyu.
私が勝手に天狗になってただけよ。
I was just being arrogant.
僕とおしゃべりしたいときは呼んでくださいです。
Call me if you want to talk.
もう泣きつかないの？
You're not crying anymore?
私がこの世界で終わりにするのを撤回してほしいって。
You're not going to beg me to not give up on my life?
リカは頑固な人ですから。
You're a stubborn person.
言えば言うほど逆効果になりますのです。
I know it's better to not be too persistent with you.
さすが付き合いが長いだけのことはあるわね。
After all these years, you know me very well.
もうリカも悟っているようですから言います。
I know you're already aware, but let me say this.
今日です。
Today's the day.
悔いのない一日を。
Do your best.
リカが何をしてもしなくても朝が来て夏休みが終わるようにこの世界も終わります。
No matter what you do or don't do, this world is going to end today.
でもリカが望めば次の朝も訪れる。
But if you wish for it, you'll see a brand new day, just like when morning comes.
そしてそれはまたしても今年の6月かもしれないけれど、朝は朝。
You might find yourself back in June of this year again, but it'll still be a brand new day.
もっと小さい頃、
When I was younger,
毎日が退屈で、毎朝起きても同じ日が繰り返されてるんじゃないかって思ったことがある。
every day seemed so boring. Every morning I thought the same things would happen again after I woke up.
それが本当になるだけのことだしね。
This just means that it'll end up being true.
今日を有意義に生きてくださいとだけ言いますのです。
Let me just tell you to live this day productively.
これ以上は僕は何も言いませんのです。
I'm not going to say anything else to you.
多分今日だろうと思っていたけど、あんたにはっきりと言われると答えるわね。
I knew today was the day, but it's still difficult to hear that from you.
やっぱり終わるのね。今回も。
It's going to come to an end again, huh?
はい、
Yes,
今回も終わりますのです。
it's going to end again,
いつもと同じように。
just like always. Hanyu disappeared and went completely quiet inside the house. How should I spend my day? How should I end this day? Should I work on my homework knowing that I'm not going to make it on time? I only have half a day left. I have to do my best. I should think about what I can do. This world is supposed to be a happy place. People are enjoying their lives. I should have enjoyed my life more, too. I don't mean in that I should have lived my life in blind optimism. It means that I should have enjoyed my life by fully experiencing both happiness and sadness. If I did that, I wouldn't be as worried about what to do after my death. I should have simply lived with all my might. When the time comes, it'll be over.
今日を生きる。
Today, I will live. It's a very important phrase. But it sounds meaningless when I say it, because I can repeat this meaningless life as many times as I wish. While Satoko was at school, I washed the dishes. Hanya would usually stay with me when Satoko wasn't around, but she's not here right now. It's been a while since I was all by myself. I never thought anyone could feel so lonely when washing the dishes. Dishes. I don't know why that sounded weird to me. I'm going to die today anyway. This world is ending today. Why should I wash these dishes? Dishes. That's because I'm thinking about Satoko, who will have to move on with her life after tomorrow. I will encounter a new Satoko in the next world, but I realized something after hearing what Satoko told me earlier. After I'm dead, I wonder how Satoko will move on with her life. The worlds that I've left in the past all went on without me. I wonder if Satoko will be able to cook without me. I wonder if she can go shopping on her own. I wonder if she can wash her clothes by herself. I've been avoiding thinking about this, but Satoko and my other friends must have been overcome by sadness. It's too late for me to think about this, but I started feeling like I wanted to cry. I'm feeling like this because I don't want to leave this world. This is the world that I've always wanted. It's my hope that I can continue to live in this world beyond June 1983. After a long journey, I finally ended up in this world. But I was able to truly live in this ideal world for only one night. The night of Wada Nagashi. This world will be shattered again after I die tonight. We finally saved Satoko, and all our friends assume that our happy life has returned. However, I'm going to die tonight. They will mourn for me. We worked so hard to make a miracle happen, but they're going to lose their happy world in just one day. Am I going to start a new life in the next world as if nothing happened? I lived 3 days in my new world, but 3 sad days were going to pass in this world. That's no good. I can't think straight anymore. I couldn't stop the tears from flowing from my eyes. I hugged Satoko's pillow and cried. I could smell her scent. After I die, Satoko will probably hug my pillow and cry just like this. Is everyone else going to cry for me too? I'm sure they will. And they'll be sad. Not about my death. They'll be sad not because I'm dead, but because I never told them about what was troubling me so much. I wonder if they're going to feel regret. Will they wonder what they could have done to open up my heart? What they could have done to help me in my time of trouble? Will they wonder what they could have done to save me? I felt miserable and frustrated. I held Satoko's pillow and continued to cry. And the next moment, I heard the phone ringing. I tried to ignore it, but it wouldn't stop ringing. I picked up the phone, hoping that my friends would call to check on me. However, I heard a weird guy's voice coming from the receiver. Hello? This is Okanogi Gardeners. Is this a Furude residence?
Okonogi?
Okanogi? It was Okanogi from the Mountain Dogs. It was the first time... I'd received a phone... Sound the panic alarm! It was the first time I'd received a phone call from him. I'm calling because I have something urgent to ask you. I called the school, but they told me that you're sick today. Are you feeling alright? I'm not alright. This is the day I die. I knew he had no idea, but I still couldn't help but feel upset. It's only a cold. I just want to rest today. Really? Well, that's a very fortunate coincidence. What? I had no idea what made him say that he was glad I was sick. Oh, no. This is so dire. This is so dire to read. God damn it. Why is it fortunate for you if I'm home? Well, I got a tip from Tokyo that someone is planning to murder you. What do you mean? Tokyo was investigating the murder of Tomitake-san and Takano-san.
入江所長が黒幕である可能性が高いっちゅう連絡が入ってきました。
The investigation concluded that there's a high possibility Dr. Irie is pulling the strings.
入江が
Irie?
黒幕
Irie is behind everything? This is the first time I've heard something like this. This isn't something that happens at random. It's the very first time. That means it's not just a coincidence. I'm hearing this now because of something that I did differently in this world. Oh my god, can Rika put it together? Oh my god, that would be so huge. God, wasn't there a moment earlier where she was like, she was realizing, she's like, oh, I did something different here, so this is like having like almost like a butterfly effect to change whatever. Can she piece it together? She realizes that something has changed here, and this is the first time this has happened, and then she traces it back and says, what is it different that I did here? We may, oh my god, this could be huge. I might be getting excited for nothing, but we may have a chance here. We may have a chance here where Rika is able to trace back what she did differently, and maybe in the span of like half a day, that maybe she like could get it, like figure out that who's actually threatening her life. Missed so much of my playthrough due to RL problems. Ah, sorry to hear that. I hope you're doing better, whatever those problems seem to be or were. I hope you have come through them for the better, or for the fine, as I like to say, for the fine. Yes, we are in arc/chapter 7. I would be so down here for Rika get like backwards working through this. Oh, that's good to hear. Well, again, it sounds weird when I say that. Good to hear that you're no longer in that type of danger. But apologies that it had to happen in the first place. I've done many things differently in this world, though. I can't tell which decision led me to this result. I'll have to watch my vids on YouTube later. Yeah, they're all there. You'll have to speed. I know you'd be one of a couple people I know that are personally going to try to speed through to try to catch up to the final chapter. Well, and the thing is, I mean, I don't know how far back I would have to try to remember, but I was saying that once we get this, then we probably won't start, depending on how much into October this goes, we probably won't be starting chapter 8 until the start of November, or November 2nd, or whatever is my November 2nd, is it? Yeah, November 2nd is that Saturday. Yeah, it is quite a lot to watch, depending on. Or you do the podcast thing to me, and you set me to 2x speed, whatever your brain can handle. 2x speed, 2.5 speed. Just reading Higurashi super fast. You have 7 other people currently watch. Jesus, how do you keep them all balanced? I would not be able to do that, but I commend you for that. I can't tell which decision led me to this result. However, maybe this is something that could change my life drastically. Okinogi continued to explain to me. There had been budget cuts to the research, and they were scheduled to be shut down within a few years. Irie was strongly against that because he was embezzling the research money by requesting bigger and bigger budgets. Because they were going to cancel their research, he tried to sell the research data and make a lot of money off of it. Oh man, this fucking guy. This fucking guy, dude. Is that really true? Oh, I hope the sirens are like going off in Rika's brain. This would be... Oh, come on, Rika! Come on, Rika! We all believe in you, Rika! He says, I know it's hard to believe, but it is. I always thought that he was kind of suspicious myself. I think I can say with certainty that Irie is not that type of person. I've been around him for years, and as far as I know, he's not a bad guy. He doesn't even have the guts to be one. He pretends to be cold-hearted for the sake of his research, but he can't shake his regrets. He's simply a nice person. It's hard to believe that he was embezzling money from Tokyo. I'm starting to be suspicious of Takano, but she's actually a nice person too. Come on, Rika! You're so close! She seemed mean at times, but she could also act as innocent as a child. However, I'm starting to suspect her because Oishi told me that the body they found in Gifu might not be Takano's body. Okanogi works for Takano. That means I can't trust Okanogi. In other words, I can trust Irie because Okanogi is clearly just trying to set him up. Ooh, dude, we're not even, the writer here, we're not even like, the story-wise, they're not even being like, will she or will she not believe in what she's being fed here. Very quickly, Rika is like, nah, that is very clearly suspicious as hell. Can't believe him because he works for Takano. Takano's body, probably not the right body. And I can trust Irie because it's clearly an attack against Irie. God, Rika. So good. So good. So good. On the other hand, if Takano isn't guilty, I could be making a huge mistake. Yet, it always seemed to me as though Toмотake and Irie were good friends. If Tokyo had suspected that Irie was embezzling money from them, Toмотake would have treated him far more coldly. Anyway, at the very least, Toмотake of Tokyo didn't have such a bad impression of Irie. The Irie of the Irie Institute and Toмотake of Tokyo were good friends. Toмотake of Tokyo and Takano of Tokyo were good friends. Takano of Tokyo and Okanogi of Tokyo were superior and subordinate. But Okanogi of Tokyo says that Tokyo is suspicious of Irie. This doesn't make sense. Everyone seems to be good friends at first glance, but the links don't connect from start to finish. Irie thinks he has a positive relationship with Tokyo, but Tokyo is suspicious of Irie. That's just odd. The chains should be connected, but one of the links is twisted out of order. It's breaking the loop.
すでに東京が内定に着手してますんで、詳しいことはもうちょい待ってほしいそうです。
Tokyo is conducting further investigations at the moment.
また、入江はあなたを何らかの交渉の最後の切り札に使おうとしている可能性があるらしく、あなたに対する警護体制を本日よりさらに強化せよとの命令が来ました。
We also have information that Irie is trying to use you as a bargaining chip. For that reason, we've been told to tighten up your security starting today.
それでご自宅にいられるんは都合がいいと言ったんですね。
That's why I'm glad that you're at home right now. I forgot that that was a thing that could happen.
山犬が3交代、20人体制で警護に入らせていただきました。
That's why I'm glad that you're at home right now. There are 20 security guards patrolling the Furude Shrine in 3 shifts.
もちろんご安心ください。それっちゃわからないように気を利かせてますんね。
You may not notice, but they're there for you.
すごい警護体制なのです。
That's a lot of security.
その警護はいつまで続くのですか？
How long are you going to guard me like that?
東京から解除の命令が来るまでずっとですね。
Until Tokyo feels you're no longer in danger.
今回の一件が解決するまでです。
Until this whole case is resolved. That should have been good news for me, since today was the day I was supposed to die. This is exactly the kind of security I wanted. That's why I let Takano into the ritual storehouse. However, I have a bad feeling about this. Tokyo should be my ally, but that arrangement is just like Irie's relationship with Tokyo. Everything seems in order from my end, but when you trace it the other way, it feels like something's off at some point. I have this uncomfortable feeling because I have a few uncertainties about Tokyo. Tokyo and Irie have strong ties, but they're suspicious of him? Is Irie actually a bad guy? Is Takano still alive, and is she the one who killed Toмотake? Those questions and more made me uncertain about accepting help from Tokyo. I thought Tokyo, as a single organization, would move with a single intention, but in reality, they have multiple different intentions. In other words, there must be multiple... What's the word? I see it in the political section of newspapers all the time. Ah, right, factions. Are there 2 factions in Tokyo? One that wants to remain friendly with Irie, and one that looks down on him. That would explain the irregularities I'm sensing. Maybe I've been talking to Oishi too much. If he hadn't told me that he was suspicious of Takano, would I have believed Okanogi without a doubt? Well, maybe not. Even without Oishi's theory, Okanogi still sounded very suspicious. Irie was loyal to his research on Hinamizawa syndrome. Tokyo understood this, so his relationship with Toмотake wasn't particularly strained. Plus, Irie isn't the type of person who would commit embezzlement. He's a law-abiding citizen with a good moral character. He's a law-abiding citizen. He pays his taxes. Of course, he has some ambition as a researcher, but that only goes as far as common sense expects any researchers to. It's nothing like the criminal aspirations that would lead to major embezzlement. A great number of the mountain dogs were going to be guarding me. This is what I've been wanting in my previous lives. But for some reason, I couldn't be happy about it. I couldn't help but feel depressed. If this house is like an empty bird cage, then they'd be the fox with feathers stuck to its face. I don't know if I can really trust the people who are protecting me. He's a law-abiding citizen with some eccentricities about him that we just have to accept, unfortunately. I don't know if I can really trust the people who are protecting me. I tried to recall more about Okanogi. The mountain dogs have been protecting me for years. Okanogi proved his skills in many of my other lives. To them, I'm something of a special existence. If something happens to me, it would be a disaster. The Irie Institute is there to help, or to keep Hinamizawa syndrome under control, and the mountain dogs are there to protect me from evildoers. So why would they try to betray me now? I thought about it for a while, but I had no idea. I just know one thing for sure. I can't feel comfortable with the protection of the mountain dogs alone. I want someone other than Tokyo protecting me, but I bet such a person wouldn't believe me. Wait, what about Oishi? I've been keeping in touch with Oishi since the other day. He still thinks that the mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa are all plotted by the village authorities. If he believes that, then he might believe that my life is in danger. For him, I'm a special person with lots of useful information. The mountain dogs hate the police, though. When I asked them to assassinate Satoko's uncle, they refused because he was being watched by the police. I would feel relieved if the police were guarding me along with the mountain dogs. That way, the dogs wouldn't be able to harm me, even if they were working for an evil faction of Tokyo. Besides that, if my suspicions toward them turned out to be baseless, more protection couldn't hurt. I'm sure that double security will keep me safe. Double security.
わかりましたです。
I understand.
今日はおとなしくしていますです。
I'll stay home for today.
ええ、そうなさってくださるとうちらも助かりますんで。
Yes, please do.
町へ繰り出して変なチンピラに喧嘩でも売られるとうちらも苦労しますん。
And please don't go out into the city and try to pick a fight with delinquents.
根
Me.
に持たれているのです。
Sorry about that. Oh!
では、そういうことです。
Anyway,
風、お大事になさってください。
please take care of yourself.
風邪の診察に診療所に行ってはいけませんですか？
I have a cold, so may I at least go to the clinic?
万が一ということがありますんで、入江診療所には当分近寄らないでください。
You never know what might happen, so please don't go near there for a while.
妙な注射でも打たれやすと大変ですかいね。
I don't want them to inject you with anything suspicious.
入江はそんなことしないです。
Irie would never do anything like that.
しないとうちらも思いたいですがね。
That's what we want to believe.
その疑いが解けるまでちょいとしばらく慎重にしてほしいっちゅうこってん、安城ご理解をいただきたいんですわ。
But you need to be careful of him until things are cleared up.
知ったらんしゃもないのです。
So, I have no choice, huh? Wait, why'd the voice... What?
しないとうちらも思いたいですがね。その疑いが解けるまでちょいとしばらく慎重にしてほしいっちゅうこってん、安城ご理解をいただきたいんですわ。知ったらんしゃもないのです。
Huh? Ah! It made me think. Riku says no.
おこのぎもいつの間にかすっかり地元言葉になりましたです。
Did they mistakenly not apply the filter thing to it, or is there a reason, or is there going to be a reason out of this? Anyway, whatever. You've totally picked up the local dialect, Okanogi.
最初は普通の東京なまりだったです。
I used to have a normal Tokyo accent.
直せと言われれば直せるつもりですがね。
I like to think I can fix it when asked, though.
地域に溶け込むのが仕事ですから。
After all, it's my job to blend it with the local culture. I think so too. I finished speaking with him. As soon as I hung up the phone, I opened my phone book and looked for the number to the Okinomiya Police Department. It was nearly noon. Felt like the pages of the phone book were sticking to my skin. I must have been in a hurry. I really don't want to die. I want to stay in this world. I don't want to leave this perfect world. I'm trying to do something because I don't want to die. I'm trying to live with all my might. I'm trying to enjoy my life. For the first time, I was spending my last day positively, without drinking wine until I was drunk.
もしもし、大石です。
Hello, it's Oishi.
お待たせしてすみませんでしたね。
Sorry for the wait.
ちょいと今から岐阜に行ってこようとしてたところでした。
I was getting ready to leave for Gifu Prefecture.
どうもあちらさん話が通らないんで、直に襟首を掴んでゆすってやろうと思いましてね。
I was going to browbeat them until they owned up watching the case.
岐阜
Gifu?
高野の死体のことですか？
You're talking about Takano's body?
ねえ。
Yeah.
周りは勝手に納得して高野の死体に間違いないって繰り返すんですが、
My
私はもうどうにも腑に落ちない。
colleagues are convinced that the body is Takano, but I'm still not satisfied.
それで直接行って見てこようと思います。
That's why I'm going there myself.
死体が高野でないと分かれば話は一気に急展開しますからね。
If that body isn't Takano, this is going to be a whole different story.
高野を重要参考人として手配できます。
We can put out a search for her as a material witness, see?
幸い向こうの柔道部とは交流がありますので、お隣の県警さんにも味方は大勢います。
Fortunately, I have lots of connections in the Gifu Police Department.
ちょいとみっちり話し込んできますよ。
I'll go have a nice, long talk with them. No. It looked like Oishi was proactively moving forward with the investigation. If that body really is Takano, there's an extra is there, that'd be sad for her, but it would give me reason to trust the mountain dogs. If that's not Takano, then it'd tell me that she's part of this whole incident. No matter what the result is, it will give me some kind of hint, but only if I'm still alive. But really, it's unfortunate. Oishi is leaving for Gifu. Can't be around to protect me.
大石
Oishi?
実は変な声の電話があったのです。
Some stranger called me today.
知らない人でしたが村人だと名乗りましたです。
I don't know who it was, but he said he's one of the villagers.
匿名の電話ですか。
He didn't tell you who he was?
うん。
I see.
続けてください。
Please, go on.
その電話は何と。
What did he tell you?
僕を殺そうとしている人たちがいるというのです。
He told me that someone is going to kill me.
早ければ今日にも決行すると言ってますです。
He said they'd kill me tonight at the earliest.
それは本当ですか。
Is that true?
なるほど。それはありえない話じゃないな。
I see. It's not outside the realm of possibility.
わかりました。
I see.
私はもう出発しなければなりませんので行けませんが、警官を何人か行かせます。
I have to leave soon, but I'll send some officers over there.
駐在にも連絡して、あなたの近辺を警戒するように伝えましょう。
I'll tell them to keep you safe.
今日はご自宅ですよね。
You're home right now, right?
風邪か何かですか。
Do you have a cold or something?
家にいて戸締まりをしっかりしてください。
Just stay home and lock your doors and windows.
すぐに警官を行かせます。
I'll send someone over immediately.
おいさん、どうしたんすか？
What's wrong, Oishi-san?
先方との約束の時間ギリギリですよ。
You'll be late for your appointment.
今ね、フルでリカから電話がありました。
I just got a call from Rika Furude.
匿名の電話があり、彼女の命を誰かが狙っているらしいと警告してきたらしいって言うんです。
Someone called to warn her that she was going to be murdered.
フルでリカオですか？
Someone is trying to kill? Someone is trying to kill? It's getting sloppy. Someone is trying to kill Rika Furude?
どうして？
But why?
村のマスコットじゃなかったんですか？
I thought she was like the village mascot.
連続開始事件絡みで私と接触してたことに対する警告じゃないかと見てます。
It might be a warning for contacting me about the incidents in the village.
本当に殺すかどうかは疑わしいが、彼女も年頃の子供です。
I don't know if they're really trying to kill her, but she's just a young girl.
命を狙われていると聞かされたら穏やかにはいられないでしょう。
I'm sure she's very frightened right about now.
それにここで信頼を損ねると以後の関係にも支障をきたしますからね。
Plus, if we lose her trust now, that might hurt our relationship in the future.
2、3人でいいです。大至急行かせてください。
2 or 3 officers are enough, but please send them over at once.
あと駐在さんにも連絡してとりあえず彼女を安心させてあげてください。
Also, get a hold of our local officer and have them reassure her some.
了解っす。
Yes, sir. Rikufure might have some kind of hint regarding the mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. Oishi couldn't let her die.
私たちも岐阜の分からずやどもを締め落としたらすぐに南沢へ行きましょう。
We should head back to Hinamizawa as soon as we get the Gifu Police Department to spill the beans.
ちょいとハードな出張スケジュールになりましたよ。
This is going to be a pretty tight schedule for our business trip.
こんなの楽勝っす。
This will be a piece of cake.
こちらひばり。
Oh, this is Skylark.
駐在警官が境内に入りました。
A local police officer is on the shrine property.
R 宅へ向かっています。
He's heading toward R's house.
了解。
Roger.
引き続き監視さ
Oh
れた
my
し。
god. Continue observation.
R と接
It's
触。
happening. It's happening! Encountering R.
警官を中に入れました。
She let the officer inside.
沖宮署に R から連絡があったようです。
R called the Okinomiya Police Department.
自身の身辺警護を依頼したと思われます。
She requested protection on her own.
うちらのことは喋ったんかいね。
Did she tell them about us?
命を狙われているとの匿名電話があったと言っています。
She told them that she got an anonymous call.
作り話でしょう。
I'm sure that's made up.
また、それとは別に沖宮署から私服警官が数人派遣されるようです。
The Okinomiya Police Department is sending a few more officers to her location.
なんねん。
What?
山犬だけじゃ信用できんって国会ね。
Doesn't she trust the mountain dogs?
厄介ですね。
This is trouble.
監視体制にも支障が出ます。
It's going to prove more difficult to continue the mission.
まさか気づいたんじゃねんかね。
Is it possible that she somehow found out?
そんなわけはないとは思うが。
Well, we're probably safe.
全般に職質に注意しろと伝達。
Just tell the team to be aware of the officers.
疑われたら意味ないんね。暗情警戒しろっちゅう伝えてえな。
We don't want them to become suspicious of us.
了解。
Roger.
本部より全般、
HQ to all units.
古出神社周辺に警察介入の動きあり、
There are police officers around the Furude Shrine.
職質には特に注意されたし、
Please be mindful of them.
今夜の決行ですが、様子を見た方がよろしいのでは。
We may have to postpone tonight's mission.
連絡はするが、三差はやるっちゅう言うだろうな。
I'll call her, but I'm sure the major will order her go anyway.
明朝に R の死亡が発覚して話が進むよう、もうお膳立てが済んどるって話だ。
Everything's already set up for R to be discovered dead tomorrow morning, so we can move to the next stage.
警官に不審と思われとない。
But we don't want the police to suspect us.
もし疑われたら、おとなしを引くこっちゃん。
If they start suspecting you, just leave quietly. I wish she had called the officers pretty quickly. The officer who was in the area arrived within 10 minutes after I spoke with him. He asked me what kind of phone call I received today. I decided to make up a whole story. It'll be all over if they check my call history, but I'm sure Oishi won't bother doing anything like that. He thinks I'm worth protecting because I have information about the incidents in Hinamizawa. The policeman is one of the villagers, so I know him very well. More officers are coming here from the Okinomiya department. The officer told me to relax because he'd stay with me until then. Oishi must have thought I was frightened half to death after getting a threatening phone call. After about 30 minutes, 4 officers in plain clothes arrived at the shrine. The local officer returned to his police box.
状況は聞いています。
We've heard the whole story.
神社周辺に我々が立ちますので、何かあったらすぐに呼んでください。
We'll guard the shrine, so please call us if something happens.
あと、夕方になったら大石刑事がこっちに来ると言っていました。
Detective Oishi will be here this evening. I was relieved to hear that Oishi would be coming here.
どうかよろしくお願いしますです。
Thank you very much.
必ず一人がここの下にいますので。
At least one person will be downstairs.
すみませんが、その者にお手洗いだけは貸してもらってもよろしいですか？
I'm sorry, but is it okay if we use your restroom?
あと、緊急時用にその者に合鍵を預からせることはできますか？
Also, you give us one of your spare keys, just in case.
どうぞです。おトイレも貸しますです。
Sure, you can use the restroom too. My house is on the second floor of a storage building. First floor contains emergency supplies for the village. I'm happy to know that at least one police officer will be there for me. The officers confirm their positions on the map of the shrine. One will be in the storage building, and 2 more will walk around the shrine property. Also, 1 more officer will be standing in front of the stairs that lead to the shrine. This world's Oishi is certainly reliable. In my other lives, Oishi tend to look at me as his enemy. However, in this world, he thinks I'm on his side. I'm sure it's because we all became friendly with him around the time we saved Satoko. It was unfortunate at the time, but perhaps the return of Satoko's uncle was a necessary event. If Okanogi was right about Irie, he wouldn't be able to come near me with 20 mountain dogs and 4 police officers protecting me. If Okanogi is the bad guy, they'd be discouraged from acting by the presence of the police. Not too different from giving garlic to a vampire. Vampire, spooky. This is the best protection I've had in 100 years. Even so, am I still going to be killed tonight? I need to do whatever I can. I should struggle as hard as possible. I won't give up. I won't even think about my next life. This is what enjoying life is all about. This is what living seriously is all about.
Hanyu? Iru?
Hanyu? Are you there?
いますのです
Just
よ。
materializes. I'm here.
どう思う？
What do you think? I know she's just asking Hanyu because you might as well. But honestly, at this point, if I was Rika, I don't really care for Hanyu's opinion. And this isn't like me throwing shade at Hanyu or being critical of Hanyu or... Well, it's me slightly being critical of Hanyu. But like... I don't know. Hanyu doesn't seem like... She... I'm gonna say, it doesn't seem like she knows things. If she knows things, then she's very bad at acting like she knows things. In my opinion. In my opinion, I'm on the train of Hanyu, very selfish character, only just wants to make sure Rika doesn't get too upset, wants to make sure Rika moves on to the next life, that Hanyu has talked about how she's just really only cares that, like, Rika doesn't permanently go away, because Hanyu doesn't want to just be, she wants to have someone who knows that she's there, right? Everything else, I'll be like, Hanyu, unhelpful. A Hanyu hater here. Rika says, what do you think
今回
about all this?
確かに僕もこうい
Oh,
う
I didn't
展
know
開
that.
はあまり見た記憶がありませんのです。
I have to admit, I've never seen anything like this before.
今回はひょっとしてって思うことはやっぱり罪なのかしらね。
Is it still wrong for me to expect something different this time?
僕は期待も失望もしませんです。
I'm not going to hope for anything.
ただあるがままに訪れる結果を眺めるのみです。
I'll just have to accept whatever the result is. Hanyu is still acting like a bystander. I knew she was going to say something like that. But part of me was hoping she would say something more positive. Upon hearing her say what she did, I felt a little disappointed and wondered why Hanyu refused to be anything but an onlooker. See, this is what I'm saying. Fucking unhelpful. Hanyu, unhelpful. Making Rika feel worse about everything. I always thought it was normal for her to be that way because she's a special existence. I also convinced myself I had to be an onlooker too since I was a similar being. However, I can't just let go of everything and become a bystander. I can't become like her. I can't stop hoping for a better life for Rika Furude. That hope was betrayed so many times and my heart was crushed countless more. That's why I stopped expecting anything to turn out the way I wanted. So, is Hanyu the same way?
羽生も 傷つくのが嫌で期待することをやめた。
Are you afraid? Are you also afraid of being hurt? I've only lived for 100 years, but I know how frightening it is to have high expectations. Han, you should also be aware of that, since she's lived far longer than me. I always thought that Hanyu was a special existence. But, except for the fact that she's invisible, everything about us is the same. She has the same thoughts and feelings as everyone else, yet I still saw her as a special existence. That's why I just assumed that her mind worked in a different way.
僕はリカに比べて長く生きすぎましたのです。
I've been living for longer than you.
喜びより悲しみが後に残り、期待すれば裏切られる方が多いことを知りすぎてしまいました。
I know that there are more sad things than happy things in this world, and that your hopes will always be betrayed.
だからもう何が起こっても心を傷つけたいと思わないのです。
That's why I don't want to be hurt anymore.
だから今回の世界でも期待しないのね。
So you're not expecting anything from this world either?
私がひょっとするとこの運命から逃れられるかもしれないという期待を。
I still have hope that this world might be different.
羽生は私がどうせまた失意のうちに殺されると思ってる。
But you think I'll just be killed again?
Oh.
Oh.
そんなことは思ってないのです。
That's not what I'm thinking. Yeah, okay. Hanyu looked uncomfortable. She had no doubts that I'd be killed again that night. That's what it means to not have hope. But she just can't own up to it, because she doesn't want to hurt my feelings.
羽生も聡子と同じなのね。
You're the same as Satoko.
何かの幸運か、誰かが助けて奇跡を起こしてくれるまで
You're
耐え
waiting.
て待っているだけ。
You're waiting for some stroke of luck or some miracle to come and help you.
戦うことを恐れているだけよ。
You're afraid of fighting.
それを強さだと勘違いしている。
You think that being patient is the same as being strong.
つい最近までは私もそうだったけどね。
That's how I was until just a little while ago. Hanyu looked down and bit her lip. She couldn't deny what I said.
あんたも何度も聞いてるはず。
I know that you've heard it over and over.
奇跡ってのはみんなで団結しないと起こせない。
Miracles will not happen unless everyone works together.
団結というのはつまり信じること。
That means you have to believe too.
みんなで信じないと奇跡は起こせないのよ。
A miracle will never happen unless everyone believes in it. What I just said sounded as though I was blaming her for the miracle not happening. Maybe I was too harsh to her. I stayed quiet, and Hanyu continued to look at the floor, shaking. Then she looked up at me and spoke. I noticed sadness, but also a little bit of anger in her eyes.
触れることもできず、
I can't even touch people,
話すこともできない。
or talk to them.
見ているしかできない僕もそのみんなに含まれるのですか？
You think I'm just like everyone else, even though all I can do is watch?
リカにどんな顛末も見ていることしか許されなかった僕の気持ちがわかるというのですか？
Do you understand how it feels not to be involved in anything? There was a slight severity in the tail end of Hanyu's speech. Except for me, she can't communicate with anyone in this world. She hates to be reminded of that.
ごめん。
I'm sorry.
やめましょう。この流れは喧嘩になるわね。
Let's stop this. I don't have a fight with you.
自分が殺されるまでの貴重な時間をあんたと喧嘩して過ごしたいとは思わないわ。
I don't want to spend the rest of the time I'm alive in an argument.
僕もリカと喧嘩をしたくはないのです。
I don't want to argue with you either.
でもこれだけは言わせて。
But let me just say one thing.
私とあなたは友人だと思ってる。
You're my friend.
だから友人の人生が乗るか反るかという時に期待しないとかあるがままを受け入れるとか言ってほしくなかった。
I don't want my friend to tell me not to expect too much out of my life.
そのことは謝りますのです。
I'll apologize for that.
でも期待するかしないかは僕の心の中で きにさせてくださいなのです。
But you should try respecting my opinions too. Damn. She can be very stubborn sometimes. Hanyu seems weak on the outside, but she actually has a very strong moral code, one that she wouldn't bend for anything. She apologized to me, but she wasn't being honest. She still wasn't expecting anything good to come from this world. She still thinks that I'm going to die pitifully. That's why she refuses to believe in miracles. I've been living with her long enough to read her mind. I feel bad for her in a sense. She's been living too long and lost all her hope. Hanyu told me to call her if anything else happened, and soon disappeared. I'm sure she's still around. She's probably still watching me, as if she's watching a TV show. The time of my death is slowly approaching. Will I be able to survive this time? It's been a long time since I've faced this fear without drinking wine. Ah. Oh, wow, that break came sooner. At the extreme risk of probably having to break not at a clean exit, I didn't want to end just now, but we'll read a bit more. Maybe not a shit ton more, but a bit more. I was left with nothing else to do after washing the dishes and cleaning the room. The mountain dogs and police were protecting me. Just in case, I figured I should leave something behind for Satoko. Should I write down some recipes for her in the notebook? Will she be happy if I leave a will for her? I laughed at my own foolishness. No one would be happy to read a will. If I die, they'll be devastated and wonder why I didn't talk to them. That's exactly how I felt when Satoko didn't ask for any help when her uncle was abusing her. I wonder, will I be killed before Satoko even comes home? My memories of these days are never very clear. The day I die is always vague in my recollections. It's fine if I'm murdered before Satoko gets home, but if I'm murdered after, then would they kill her along with me? I don't want that to happen. It's bad enough already that I end up killed. If Satoko is murdered along with me each time, that would be too much to bear. Just how much have I ignored other people's sadness with that rash idea that the world ends when I die? Thinking about that made me feel truly ashamed of myself. I turned on the TV to try and reduce the silence, but it didn't help at all. Worse, not only did the TV not help with my fears, it felt like it symbolized Hanyu and my allies, making me feel even more unpleasant. It was past lunchtime, nearly 3 p.m. School should be out soon. I'm not there today, so they probably won't do a club activity. Satoko should be home shortly. Seems I'm going to survive until she gets home after all. If she comes home and asks me what's troubling me, I might end up telling her the truth. If I talk to someone, that person will be demoned away by the mountain dogs. That's why I've never spoken to anyone about it. I didn't want my friends to get into danger. But if Satoko is also murdered likewise in every world because she was involved with me, then we're doomed to share the same fate. It's better to know the truth than to be killed without knowing what's going on. But I'm under very strict security right now. I might be able to survive in this world. If that's the case, I shouldn't talk to Satoko about it. It won't be so easy to talk to my friends after all. Moments later, I heard a surprised yell of Satoko's coming from downstairs. She'd returned. It sounded like she was scared to see a stranger in our home. I'd have to tell her that the police were here. That would be tantamount to telling her that someone is out to kill me. I don't know how to explain it to her or how much I should tell her. However, my thoughts were soon interrupted by the noise of a crowd. Satoko hadn't come home alone. I'm home! Hey, Rika! What's up with the officer downstairs? Why is that guy guarding your house? What the heck did you do? Mi-chan, that's not the right question. What happened to you, Rika-chan? There were some strangers on the shrine grounds too. Are they also police officers? This isn't normal, you know.
俺たちリカちゃんが何を悩んでるのか知らないが、みんなで励まそうって思ってきたんだ。
We don't know what's troubling you, but we're all here to cheer you up.
でもどうやらそんな悠長な事態じゃねえようだな。
It looks like something bad is going on. I couldn't stop laughing upon seeing everyone rush into my house all asking the same questions. It made me feel as though being depressed all day had just been a waste of time.
リカ、
Rika,
笑ってる場合じゃありませんでしたよ。
what on earth is so funny?
どういうことなのか説明してくださいまし。
You need to explain to us what's going on.
どうもこうもないのです。
There's nothing to explain.
今日は僕が殺される日なのです。
I'm getting murdered today.
はあ？
What? Everyone already knew that I'd been telling people about how I was going to be killed, but they were surprised to hear it from my own mouth.
なあリカちゃん。
Hey, Rika-chan.
俺は確かに昨日リカちゃんから聞いた。
I heard that from you yesterday.
自分は誰かに殺されるみたいな話をな。
You told me that you think someone is trying to kill you.
でもそれはリカちゃんの冗談みたいなもんだと思ってた。
But I thought that was one of your jokes then.
だがな、もうごまかすのはなしだぜ。
Now, though, you're not fooling me anymore.
話してもらうぜ。
You have to talk to your friends. Ketchy spoke with a harsh tone as though I'd made him upset. As my friend, he must think that's unforgivable that I didn't talk to him about it. He wasn't the only one feeling that way, though. Every single one of them was looking at me with worried expressions on their faces.
リカ、私はみんなに助けてもらいましたの。
Rika, everybody here saved me.
だから私もみんなのために何かの助けをしたいんですのよ。
I want to do something for my friends as well.
気持ちだけで嬉しいのです。
I'm glad to hear that.
リカが自分で私に言いましたのよ。
Remember what you told me?
戦う勇気を持てと。
You told me you told me to have the courage to fight.
あなたは自分でそう私に言っておきながら実践していないではございませんの。
I mean, but just look at you. You're not even fighting yourself. Got her. Satoko pointed out something that I've already realized. I had no way to argue back.
リカちゃんは話せば巻き込まれるって言ったんだよね。
You told me that you'll put us in danger by talking to us.
リカちゃんが話さなくても私たちは巻き込まれる気でいるんだよ。
But all of us are already involved, no matter if you talk to us or not.
そうさ。
That's right.
俺たちは仲間で
We're
部
your,
活のメンバーなんだよ。
we're your friends.
リカちゃんの危機はメンバー全体の危機さ。
If you're in danger, all of us are in danger too.
かつてサトコが危機だった時もメンバー全体の危機として戦った。
When Satoko was in danger, we all fought for her, remember?
それと同じだよ。
It's the same thing.
命を狙われるとか物騒な話になればますます園崎家の出番だと思いますけれど。
If your life is in danger, then I think it's time for the Sonozaki family to step in.
それこそ物騒な話に及ぶなら警察より頼もしいですよ。
We're way more reliable than the police.
ねえおね。
Isn't that right, sis?
そうだよ。
That's right.
こういうことこそ相談してほしいね。
You have to talk to us.
何をトラブったの？
What kind of trouble are you in?
リカちゃんを殺すって脅迫するなんてとんでもない野郎だよ。
Who the hell is threatening to kill you?
まあリカちゃんの口の重さを見る限り心当たりがないのか薄いのかのどちらかだな。
Based on how you're acting, I assume you don't even know who it is.
相手が分かってりゃ楽な話なんだからな。
If you did know, it wouldn't be as big of a problem.
みんなは鋭いので僕が何も話さなくても勝手に話が進んでしまうのです。
You're also smart. You know everything even though I haven't talked to you yet.
リカ、はぐらかさないでほしいですわよ。
This is not time for jokes, Rika.
ちゃんとお話しなさいませ。
You must talk to us.
一体何があったんですの？
What happened?
これはどういうことなんですの？
What's this all about?
警察が来るなんてよっぽどのことですのよ。
You don't call the police unless you're really in danger, no?
警察には話せて、どうして私たちには話してくれませんの？
How dare you talk to the police before talking to us?
私たちには話しにくい理由なの？
Is the cause something you're uncomfortable talking to us about?
リカに話しにくいようなやましい理由なんてあるわけありませんでしたよ。
Rika would never have any issues that would be uncomfortable to talk about.
落ち着けサトコ。
calm down, Satoko.
リカちゃんはこう見えても御三家の当主なんだぞ。
Rika-chan is the leader of the Furude Shrine. Or Furude family.
お社様の生まれ変わりなんて呼ばれて年寄り連中に盲信されてるんだ。
She's worshipped as the reincarnation of Ojishiro-sama in this village.
俺たちの想像のつかないところで何か厄介なことに巻き込まれていたということもあるかもしれない。
She might have been in trouble for a long time, even though we didn't know about it.
そういうごたごたをこれからこの村で楽しく過ごしていこうっていう俺たちに話したくなかったとか。
Maybe she just didn't want to talk to us about such trouble because we're all trying to have a fun life here in this village.
そういうのじゃないのか。
That's probably what it was, right?
村とリカちゃまに関わるヤバい話ですか。
So it has something to do with Rika-chama in the village?
となるとお社様を盲信する年寄り連中の絡みとしか思えません。
It must involve those crazy old people who worship Ojishiro-sama.
ってことは時期的に考えてお社様のたたり関係か。
So it must have something to do with the curse of Ojishiro-sama.
あれだ。
I know.
富武さんと高野さんが殺された件絡みじゃないかな。
I bet it's related to what happened to Tomitake-san and Takano-san.
どうして富武さんたちが殺された事件がリカちゃんに関連してリカちゃんが命を狙われなくちゃならないの？
It's very funny that they're starting to slowly be able to piece it together without Rika even just telling them. Why would Tomitake-san's murder cause Rika-chan's life to be in danger?
話が突飛すぎるよ。
That's too big a leap.
命が狙われてるって時点で十分話がぶっ飛んでる。
It's crazy just to think that someone is trying to kill her anyway.
俺たちが普段知る以上のしがらみがリカちゃんにあってそれを話せないってことなんだろうな。
Rika-chan is bound by more obligations than we know. She probably couldn't talk about them.
ビンゴだろ。
I'm right, aren't I?
あまり楽しい話じゃないからむしろ仲間には話せないってんだろ。
It's not a very fun topic, which is why you couldn't tell your friends, right?
信じられないですわ。
I cannot believe this.
本当なんですのリカ。
Is it really true, Rika?
何か村とか富武さんたちの事件とかそういうのが関係していますの？
Is it really true that you're involved in Tomitake-san's murder case? I remained silent, but with my mouth open. I hadn't answered any other questions, but they continued to ask, and had eventually hit the nail on the head. It was more surprising than anything. But then again, these are, after all, my beloved club mates. I laughed once more. My issues and my secrets are so devastating to me, but they stopped sounding like such a big deal when everyone talked about them together. They knew exactly what was going on without me saying a word. In that moment, I realized just how powerless I am. I had to tip my hat to them. Everything seemed so foolish now. And so, I decided to just tell them everything.
話せと言うなら話しますです。
If you want me to talk, I will.
でもどうせ信じられませんのです。
But I'm sure you won't believe me.
信じるさ。
We will.
リカちゃんが真実を語る限り俺たちは疑わない。
As long as you tell us the truth, we'll never doubt it. Everyone's expressions turned grave as they vowed not to make light of anything I told them. And so, I'm going to tell them everything. I want to see if they really will believe me or not.
なら話します。
In that case, I'll tell you.
多分私は富武と高野を殺した犯人に狙われています。
I think I'm being targeted by the same person who killed Tomitake and Takano.
ってことはそれって連続開始事件の真犯人ってこと？
Then, are they the true culprit behind the series of mysterious deaths?
それはわかりません。
I don't know about that,
ですがその可能性もあります。
but it is possible.
意味がわかりづらいですわね。
I don't understand.
どうして富武さんや高野さんを殺した人がさらにリカも殺さないといけませんの？
Why would Tomitake-san and Takano-san's murder also want to kill Rika? Oishi thinks Takano is the culprit. Okanogi thinks that Irie is the culprit. Either way, it sounds like someone from Tokyo is trying to kill me. I can't tell if it's Takano or Irie, but I do know that, to them, I'm like a trump card. In order to explain everything, I need to talk to them about the relationship between Hinamazawa, Tokyo, and the Irie clinic. I don't think they'll believe me. It's such a ridiculous story. But who would ever believe it if not my friends?
話せばみんな巻き込まれますです。
You'll all be in danger if I talk to you about this.
いいのですか？
Are you sure? You still want to hear it?
いいに決まってるぜ。
Of course.
リカちゃんが巻き込まれた時点で、すでに俺たちも巻き込まれているんだからな。
If you're in danger, we're in danger. Everyone nodded at Kitchi's words.
では話しますです。
Well then. Alright, we'll end it there then. We didn't get the super clean ending, but I assume she's gonna go into a whole fucking thing about everything, so we might as well wait there, and then we'll pick it back up on Saturday. Potentially Saturday night, but also I might do the same thing I did this previous Saturday, which is maybe start even slightly earlier in the day on Saturday, so that we have like ample time. It depends. I'll figure it out as we get hopefully closer to it, but yeah, we'll like I said, I assume we're pretty close to light speeding our way to the end of this chapter of chapter 7 based on the Steam achievements and everything. So yeah, Saturday stream will be Higurashi. Let's see, we have streams still Wednesday, tomorrow night, and Friday night as well. Most likely Ghost Trick on Wednesday, as where I assume what I was told was just a couple more streams of that to finish. Friday, not sure what we'll tackle, but maybe it'll be depending on how far we get into Ghost Trick on Wednesday. So I do have to make my exit. I apologize. It's so early, not only early, but also short stream. Plans happen. Tuesday night plans. Who would have thought? Any plans to play Metaphor? God, trust me, it's definitely. I was talking about Metaphor. I won't go too much into this, but like I was talking about Metaphor Refantasio, whatever, however you pronounce it, with a friend of mine, and we are just both talking about how like. I mean, it's funny for me because I stream a lot or whatever, but like, at some point in my life, would I like to play Metaphor? Yes. Will I probably? Yes. Is it going to happen anytime soon? Probably not. It probably will not be like this year even. Just planning, scheduling wise. We were talking about how daunting it is to just be staring at an almost 100-hour JRPG thing. I was talking about how much I fucking loved Persona 5 Royal when I played it. And I played that on the channel here, and it was, at the time, it was like the longest series I ever did. But how much I loved it. But like how much like scheduling. But I was also talking about how like this is part of a larger discussion that I'll have at some point, but like the past 2 years, a lot of my streaming time has been dedicated to super long ass novels that I've been spending a lot of time with. If I continue to stream next year, that time needs to be taken up because I don't know if there's going to be an immediate thing that I can so easily take the place of both Umineko and Higurashi. So potentially time does open up to tackle much longer things, just because the absence of both Umineko and Higurashi will obviously be felt. So maybe 2025, maybe Metaphor. That's all I could say. Maybe but yeah, I really want to play it. I love how much positive reception it's gotten and stuff, and I've heard from people I trust that have played and finished the game already now at this point, that it does some very interesting things story-wise and stuff, and gameplay-wise. So, yeah, I want to play Metaphor at some point. Have I played any Layton games? No. I have a couple of friends that are really into Professor Layton games. I've never gotten to them. I always thought I would get into Professor Layton, especially after I played, like, the Phoenix Wright trilogy, but I just never got around to it. Maybe someday. I always have. God, my backlog is massive. That's what I'm saying. Next year, if I continue with this project, we'll be able to tackle a lot more. A lot more time will open up in theory. It's never ending, isn't it? All right. You have a nice rest of your night. Take it easy. Stay safe. Stay well. I'll be back tomorrow night. Until then, so long.